Back with more Heartstopper. This is episode 6. Very excited to carry on. See what's going to happen next. We have 3 episodes left, but things have been really great so far. I'm really loving this show. And the last episode, wholesome vibes were continuing. There was a bit of confusion going on, but the characters talked it out, and it's all good. The whole Imogen situation was settled nicely. Charlie and Nick are still kind of going strong, which is great. Tao and Elle having a few moments as well. Isaac just living his best life, and I love him for it. But yeah, I'm just having an absolute blast with this. I don't want to say it's come as like a huge shock to me, because, I like to think I just like most things that I watch anyway. But yeah, I just found myself really just enjoying the wholesome nature of this story. It feels extremely needed right now. I'm really enjoying how heartfelt and lighthearted it is. So yeah, without further ado, let's just dive right into the next episode.
Mamma Mia.
Oh, I've seen that 4 times this year already.
Oh, well, I don't know. You think something dish up the pizza.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's trying to find... Oh. He's trying to build up to maybe see where his mum might be at.
Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a classic.
Great fucking choice. Well, I suppose it depends on which one.
I mean, yes, they are.
Oh, because this is like, a lot of people quote these two, don't they? It's like the bisexual awakening. Is he bi? Okay. Oh, they've made it official. Wholesome!
Texting Tao again, interesting. Interesting indeed.
Oh, they know as well.
I think I have a crush on Tao.
Oh my god, I know
It's not like I can say anything to him.
We're trying to dick nozzle.
Oh, fuck off.
You want my attention that badly?
I have no patience for him. Yeah, delete.
She's so gross.
Lesbians are so disgusting.
What is their problem? It's where people wear
They need an
hats.
oboe to the head. I like that those two are getting some focus.
You're gonna have to figure it out right now. I didn't just wake up one day like, oh look, guess I'm gay now.
Well, not quite there yet.
Don't be sorry.
I like that Charlie's really patient with him.
You and Charlie getting on well then?
You could say that.
We're sort of going out.
Are you?
I mean, we haven't made it official or anything, but...
Aww. I like that he's comfortable doing that, because obviously they had that conversation before.
Everyone kind of knows now. Some people were surprised. A couple of people already knew. Triumphant laugh. Okay, everyone, on the top.
They're so sweet.
Oh my god, you know what we need to do? Double dates. Us and Charlie. Tomorrow night, before the concert. Milkshakes.
Incredible.
Milkshakes.
Good.
Because it'll be wholesome. And this is why I'm here.
I mean, I think I have liked girls before, so I wondered if you felt the same.
I'm definitely gay. Kissing you was actually one of the things that made me realise
Oh, wow.
I don't like kissing guys.
What a compliment.
Does it feel good to have told someone?
Yeah. Really does.
Wholesome. It's just wholesome. I don't know what else to say. I have no insightful commentary. It's just wholesome.
I'm not ready to tie the knot yet then.
Shut up. Even if we were together.
I'm actually just always there, like, drinking.
I told her we're together. What? I told her we're going out. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Aww.
You didn't just force yourself because I'm out already. No, I wanted to tell them.
They had that built-up understanding already, didn't they? Like, he knew she'd be a safe person to tell.
Why?
And it's not pissing it down this time, so that's nice. Ah. Yes. Yes. Sail the ships. Meddling gays.
Oh, oh.
Oh my god. See, these guys are adorable as well. I just love everyone. Except
Since when were you coming to
Harry
this? If it was just
and
bribery,
Ben.
Charlie.
Oh my god, it's just diabetes in a cup, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes.
I'll take 10.
I was friends with Charlie first, and then Tal came along as a package deal.
Mm.
Rude!
Make a cute little pair.
So, we're ordering a second round, right? We should go on a date, just us. I mean, if you want to. It's alright if you don't want to. Actually,
Charlie and Nick.
we should.
Dawn of Just Us.
Seems obvious, but you should be really good friends with the person you're dating.
That makes sense.
What are you doing? What do you mean?
Oh god.
Clearly trying to set something up between me and Tal. And if he knew, then things would change, and I've had to deal with enough changes in my life lately. I don't want anything else to change. Yeah.
It is kind of fair.
Changes everything.
They did jump
Not
into
always for the
their
better.
own plan. But I want to see it.
Thanks. Cheers.
See, getting the vibes.
You and Charlie.
Yeah.
You two are together. Yeah. Charlie! But you didn't have to witness all the months of intense pining. Do Tal and Isaac,
Oh,
but he's the only one who doesn't know.
yeah.
With the concert starting in 15 minutes.
Oh.
Oh god. Smash cuts them throwing up into some trumpets. They're sharing headphones. I mean. Now.
Don't look at her, you'll catch the lesbian disease.
Oh my god. Oh god.
I thought you were trying not to be rude. I won't be with you.
You know what I'm gonna say. I don't even just bother saying it.
Has anyone seen Tara and Darcy? I'm about to open the doors for the audience.
Well, find them then. Oh.
Sorry. People giving me funny looks in the corridors, and I wasn't prepared for any of it. And I don't know how to behave anymore, and I just want to live my life.
Oh.
Just want to live my life. We can do that.
I think it'll get easier.
Yeah. I know.
Hey, you're not supposed to be on stage like right now.
Tal's like, why are they holding hands?
Yeah, I'll be okay. You?
She's got a blunt instrument. Ha! Quite literally a blunt instrument now. Anyone say something now? Happy birthday. Somebody. Ah. Okay, another fantastic episode. I really loved it. Just that kind of core, I guess, 6 characters that we have now. Like this firmly established kind of little group. They're all just so well written and realised. Is my camera a bit blurry? Am I blurry? Am I out of focus? It doesn't matter, because the focus should be on the show and the characters. But yeah, I love that group of people. You know, I don't know quite the moment where like, there was just a point in this episode. I was like, it just clicked. I'm like, these guys, what are they like? You know, the whole scene when they were getting milkshakes and stuff. You know, especially. But I think it was the moment when they all burst through the door to get Tara and Darcy out. Just like, oh, what a great group of people. You know, it's so cool, I think, that, you know, people growing up with shows like this can now have characters like this. And I think, you know, with Nick in particular and his story in this show, I think it's, you know, there's not enough representation anyway, I think, but things are definitely getting better in regards to that. I'm not really the one who can actually speak on how good or bad the representation in shows and stuff nowadays really is and how much there needs to be and stuff. I think there should be more. But I like that it's not just like, here is an openly gay character. Here is, you know, an openly bisexual character. an openly trans character. It's not just like, there they are, they're already out in the open and their story's been told, because I guess that's almost easier in terms of representation. If like, they're already out of the closet and, they've already come out to everyone, the drama of it all, I guess, has kind of simmered down a bit. I like that what they're doing with Nick is we're actually seeing someone who still hasn't made up his mind on what his sexuality is. He kind of has some ideas now that he might be bisexual, but he's not like, it might sound like me, but I don't know for sure yet if that's who I am. I like that we still have someone who's working it out, and it's not just like, I'm super into Charlie, but I've liked girls in the past. I must be bisexual. That's it. And it's like, well, hooray, that's who I am. I like that even though he has those suspicions, he's still questioning that, and he's still not fully sure yet. I like the journey with that, and I think that's going to be something, hopefully, that people can respond to, like the journey of recognizing or having some moments of like, oh, maybe this is, my sexuality, but then that could easily shift. And, I think sexuality, some people view it as very fluid, and they don't want to just tie themselves down to a label for the rest of their lives, because you don't know how things may progress or develop or evolve. I think it takes decades and decades, I think, for people to just become who they are. So while Nick himself may spend a long time still yet figuring out who he is, what is important right here and now is that he definitely likes Charlie and they're together. So I love that they're not just having characters who have kind of worked it out for themselves, and they've worked out what they are, and they've defined themselves for what they are and what their sexuality is and everything. They've still got someone who's questioning that, and it isn't just like, it's tied neatly in a bow now, he's worked it out, hooray. I'm sure he'll get to that point at some point. He might even get to that point by the end of this series. But I like that it hasn't just been very easy for him to pinpoint it down, because I think that's something that people could probably relate to as well, which is really cool. I really do enjoy that side of things with him. And I also think Kit Connor, I think is the actor's name, who is just, I think he's such a brilliant actor. I think the whole cast are great, but Kit in particular, I think he's had a lot of the emotional heavyweights to kind of juggle with the show thus far, and I think he's just been really, really great in the role. So yeah, I think it's really cool what they're doing with him, but all the characters as well. And like in this one, we have a character in Darcy who's been out for years, I think they said, and that's just, she's maybe not entirely comfortable with it, but she's open about it, and things are fine, things have settled down from that. But also with Tara, she's only recently just come out, so we're still kind of, while she knows, and is very comfortable in being a lesbian, like what she was talking to Nick about, she's not really struggling with like, am I this, am I that? She knows what she is, but she's not used to being out yet, and that's still kind of a thing for her to have to go through. So I really like they're covering all the bases, but it doesn't feel like they're just checking off a checklist of here's what we should do, here's what we need to kind of represent in this show. It just feels very integral to the characters, and not like this is just we're doing this for the sake of it. This is the story. It's not something they want to put into the story to get in people's good books. This is just a story that they want to tell, and needs to be told. So I really love the approach that they're taking with all these characters, and I think that's why people are responding to the show so well. At this point, before I sat down to record this, I've literally just posted the episode 5 reaction to YouTube, because copyright was a bitch with this show, but I got there in the end. So seeing some of those comments and seeing some of the response online to the show is just so cool to see. What people are kind of doing in response to the show, and like using the show to like come out to their own parents and stuff. I think that's just so fucking cool that shows like that can do that now. And I like that they have characters like Nick and Tara and Darcy and Elle, Charlie, Tao, all of them, who can like, they have those characters in these stories that can say some things for them, I guess, that they don't necessarily want or are comfortable with saying themselves yet. I just think that's so cool. And you know, I just think it's a really special kind of thing to not only cover that in your show, but to do it in such a fucking wholesome way. I know I keep saying it, I'm a broken record, but I'm just having an absolute joy watching this show and just seeing these characters have a good time. The only thing that could have improved this episode was Isaac. You know, what's he doing? How much money did he make on the machines? Has he bought a mansion somewhere with all his 10p's that he won? I wouldn't be surprised, because he was killing it. But yeah, I really did enjoy the focus on all the different characters in this one, and you know, Tara and Darcy getting a lot more screen times than we've seen them get thus far. But I really like, you know, how they've developed that a bit, and showing Tara's struggle with recently coming out, and getting a bit of history of how they got together, with them getting locked in that room and history kind of repeating itself again. And again, it's not necessarily like, oh, everything's fine now, with all those horrible people saying those snide remarks, you know, as they walk past and everything. It's not going to be, well, you know, that's going to stop now, it's going to be fine. But I think the journey more so was realising that in the end it will be alright, and she does have a good support around her with like Darcy and all the others, so she can get through it. It's not like the troubles and the problems are just going to go away now, because we've had an episode focusing on it. But, you know, there's a brighter future there, I guess. I like that message. Very, very wholesome. Take your shots now. Take your alcohol now. So yeah, I love the development and focus on those two. I really like them together. I really like them as characters. I think they're a lot of fun. But, you know, there's heart to them as well, as we saw in this one, like Tara's struggle in particular. And, you know, I think, yeah, they're all doing such a great job. I feel like a proud dad to them all. This is bizarre. It's a bizarre feeling. I think that's also why I'm enjoying it. I'm at the age right now where some of my friends from school have like gotten married or they've had kids, and I'm just here being like, these are my children. That's where I'm at. But yeah, I feel like this show's kind of also, you know, I can't relate so much to, you know, the LGBTQA plus like themes per se. You know, there were times I was questioning, like during like college and uni and stuff, I was kind of like wondering like kind of, am I not? Because it is like when you get to that point and you're kind of wondering, but I kind of realised that you know, I was just straight. But you know, what I can kind of relate to through this is like, or at least what I can gain from it, is like just seeing them all like wholesome and happy together. I'm like, this is kind of, I need to put myself out there a bit more, maybe take some leaps and take some first steps. So maybe that's something that I can take from the show and something I can do, because shows are for everyone, I think, and I like that anyone can gain something from a show like this. I just think it's really, really cool. So we talked about Tara and Darcy. Nick and Charlie we've briefly spoken about. I love how patient and supportive Charlie is. It's probably because he's just an incredibly caring person. He'd want this kind of response, I guess, to what Nick is kind of going through. You know, just willing for him to like find out on his own pace, like what his sexuality is. I think that's you know, just such a commendable thing to see from him, and incredibly mature of him. I like Nick determined to like support Charlie at the concert, and the fact that he felt comfortable because of the previous conversation he had at the party with Tara, I would assume, is why he was very comfortable telling her and Darcy that him and Charlie were together, and then they later told Elle as well. It's probably going to cause some tension with Tao ultimately. You know, that's probably going to be the big thing maybe going forward with that. It does feel like it's the point where Tao needs to know. I feel like he may be getting some kind of hints, maybe. Or if maybe he's just super suspicious. I don't know. But if he's like the only one who doesn't know, and he finds out that everyone else knew for a while, you know, that's going to upset him. And and it's also him knowing, I think, is also going to help his relationship with Nick so much more and help him understand that. But, you know, is Nick ready for Tao to find out? That's going to be a big thing, I guess, because I just don't know. I mean, I don't think Tao's a bad person at all in the slightest, but, you know, we do see he can be quite impulsive, and he does have a bit of a big mouth at times, like when we see him, you know, quite rightfully, to be fair, snapping back at Harry. But I just, you know, would he be that cautious with that information? You know, maybe that's something that's holding them back a bit. Because there must be some reason why they're not just telling Tao. Because it would make everything so much easier. So I'm guessing there must be like a clear reason why Charlie is reluctant. That maybe goes beyond Nick. You know, still not being that comfortable being out with everyone yet. But we'll see. It's an awkward situation. I can see why they haven't told him yet. But also, you know, I think Tao is getting very much to the point where Tao also, it would be nice if he knew. And you know, he's going to feel awful, I think, if he gets told, and it's been ages since everyone else found out, you know. But either way, I did like everything with that, and the continuing kind of bonding between Nick and Charlie is just so fucking wholesome. You know, it's such a sweet kind of couple. And during like Nick and all his like research that he was doing, I love the bit with Pirates of the Caribbean. That was really funny, because that is like, you see online, it's like, they were my bisexual awakening, all those tweets, and it is Will and Elizabeth from Pirates of the Caribbean. So I like that, you know, he had that kind of experience watching that film there. And the fact that he was looking up films to maybe watch with his mum to, I guess, kind of gauge what her reaction to that, you know, to LGBTQA themes would be. You know, it's like, he's building up to a moment, I think, where he wants to tell her, and, you know, I think she'll be fully supportive, because she, you know, she recognises already, she mentioned, you know, that Nick is more himself around Charlie. So I think she already knows, whether or not explicitly knows, but I think she gets a sense that there is something different about him and Charlie's relationship. And, you know, there's a comfort there. I don't know if she exactly knows why, but, you know, could be something that they're building up towards. So we'll see. But I just liked that kind of side of Nick's journey as well, and trying to discover, you know, what sexuality he is. I wrote down Harry's name. Why did I do that? Because he was only really there in this one, wasn't he, to just shout insults. But I love that Tao just slapped him down every single time without fail. That's the way to do it. Very much enjoyed that. And then the whole Elle and Tao situation. It was cool to see Elle actually open up to Tara and Darcy that she does have a crush on him. And then that got immediately shared in the group chat. You know, from like an audience member, I'm like, yes, set them up. But Elle does also have the point of like, you know, we've actually made this decision. I don't want him to know. It would ruin our friendship. You know, in private, Elle and Tal have made that vow to put their friendship first and foremost. Even though I think there is clearly something there. There's going to be that fear from both of them, and Elle's convinced that Tam doesn't feel the same, even though I think he does. But, you know, you consider that point of view, and you're like, oh yeah, they probably shouldn't be trying just to force this and have this whole thing be a setup to be a triple date. Especially when, you know, Tao doesn't even know that it's fully a triple date and a setup for him and Elle. So yeah, it's so complex, but it doesn't feel like, oh, this is going to explode and they're not going to talk to each other for 2 years, you know, because it's moving at a good pace and things are getting resolved. It's not like everything's being held until like the last episode and then everything gets tied up at the end. Like, there are like I think this show works so well because it feels like mini arcs episode to episode, and then bigger overarching things like Nick and Charlie's developing relationship and Nick working out his sexuality. And then they have like little mini arcs that make up that whole thing. I think because that's kind of how like comics and graphic novels do work. They like mini arcs to tell huge long stories across years. So I think that medium kind of then being turned into a TV show, I think is just so cool. So yeah, I think it works so well. And yeah, I love these characters. I love where the show's going. Still got 2 episodes left, but I'm going to watch them now. The fact that it's 11:15 at night, be damned. They're short episodes, it's fine. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this episode yet again. Loving where all the characters are going. loving the wholesome vibes. And yeah, I can't wait to see where the last 2 episodes take us. And yeah, really, really incredible show thus far. I'm glad it seems to be getting such a huge buzz around it, because I think it is well deserved. So yeah, fantastic episode yet again. Really loving this show. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.